Tune into Pops. Let me tell you about the show called Pops, where we drop the knowledge on all the latest thoughts from comics and movies, games and TV shows.
All right, folks, even the shill media can't deny the fact that the MCU is a mess. And yes, you may not recognize this guy. That's right. That's right. You may not know who this is. It's okay if you don't. It's okay. Totally get it. This is the now former Blade director, Jan Demange. That's right. Blade lost another director. So we've gone through 4 or 5 writers, couple directors, the pandemic, complete mess, right? Bassam Tariq, who did Mogul Mowgli, exited back in 2022. This is just a mess. The irony is, I don't think the story broke right away. The Variety says in their article, quote, insiders say Demange departed amicably weeks ago as development of the project has stretched over multiple years. Screenwriter Eric Pearson, who co-wrote the Fantastic Four for Marvel, is the latest scribe to take on Blade after at least 5 other writers have taken passes on the film, including Michael Green, Stacey Osei Kuffour, Michael Starbury, Bo DeMaio, who we know from X-Men 97, and Nick Pizzolatto, who we really had high hopes for because I think he came over from True Detectives. What an absolute mess. I don't think Blade is changed. It's still got a 2025 release date of November 2025, but is no chance that that is happening anytime soon. This is a film that is such a mess. Nobody can deny how bad of a situation it's become. I don't think anybody can deny that CBR has been extremely kind to Marvel, Disney, and other companies that have basically been destroying some of the IPs and fan bases over the years. But even CBR starts their headline of this with MCU's Blade losing its second director. Can the movie still be saved? Look at poor Mahershala Ali. He approached the timeline, talks about how he approached the studio back in 2019, right before the pandemic, and said, "Hey, listen, I'll portray Blade." They bring him in. He'd done some work over, obviously, on Luke Cage. They bring him in, and it's like, quote, sadly, things would not be smooth sailing afterward, with the movie facing several delays and setbacks. We're now at 5 years from that time. We're past 5 years, almost 5.5 years. The article talks a little bit about the original folks that are brought in to write and direct. Michael Starbury brought in to rewrite the story. Nick Pizzolatto brought in for another draft. That was early in 2023. I remember covering that here. Michael Green being brought in again. So that was a whole new script. Now, if we remember too, with the rumors were that these early versions, this version, and I believe the Michael Starbury version, were gender bait and switch, right? They were about Blade's daughter, things like that. So it was really not about Blade. So that wasn't going anywhere. So this stuff that was happening in early 2019, they were already seeing box office failures and feedback from Black Widow and their TV content and things like that. The scripts weren't Blade centric. Maybe Mahershala Ali, because he's such a big name, he may have sort of like some reject powers as well to say, no, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. So we'll see. Okay, so now Eric Pearson appears to be the new MCU star of the group here. He's in charge of writing the Fantastic Four movie, and now he's going to be working on this as well. Demange had just left Blade, leaving the movie without a director. Several rumors are in play here, which is not a rumor according to some of the other sources. They just say, "Oh, he's just out. He's just done." So, quote: "MCU is long past its peak." Did anyone think that we would get to this point? Can you imagine how we felt when we're watching some of the disasters that were being thrown out there from the MCU, and now we're here where CBR's got the MCU is long past its peak moment? Oh, it's just crazy. When Blade announced in 2019, it seemed like Marvel Studios could do no wrong. The release of Avengers Endgame was the culmination of its previous decade Marvel Cinematic Universe. It became a theatrical cultural phenomenon. Thus, announcing Blade at the time made sense, especially as the MCU entered its next era. Unfortunately, phases 4 and 5 have not been success stories that we're seeing in the previous movies. They've been a complete disaster. So sorry, this is like, I'm just going to ramp that up. Complete disasters. The only movies that were truly well received were Spider Man No Way Home, which is a Sony co production and banked on nostalgia. Black Panther Wakanda Forever. That is not, did that do well? I did not think that did well at all. I thought the movie was complete garbage. Lesser extent, Shang-Chi and what are they talking about? These movies were terrible. They were a mess. I would say, in addition to Spider-Man: No Way Home, the only one that was a success or that's well thought of is Guardians 3. Then they have in here critical disappointments, box office flops, or both. The first major box office bumps in the form of Eternals and the Marvels. Downward spiral of interest. Yeah, that's so true, right? And it doesn't help that the Disney Plus content wasn't good. Look at that. Look at how they're writing. They're rewriting history as though they were out there talking about how good things were or how bad things were. They're such hypocrites. Secret Wars is a reboot. Of course it is. That's what it was in the comics. And things will never be the same. Blah, blah, blah. Shelving Blade, maybe for the best. Hmm. Well, I don't know about that. I would like to see Blade. I would love to have seen Wesley Snipes show up in the Deadpool Wolverine movie. This is actually one of the few things that actually could work and, wouldn't be a horrible idea, is having Blade show up and then having it be a new Blade when they return to their universe or whatever. So that I think that you could do. I think you could get old man Blade to new Blade. But and they missed their opportunity, right? They missed their opportunity in Eternals because even with the Black Knight and being all set, they just refused to do it. They just didn't want to do it. They had this off-camera comment. Oh, will Blade ever get done? What do you guys think? They just keep throwing more people at it. So I don't know how much it's costing them. I'm assuming it's tens of thousands of dollars, not really hundreds, but I'm assuming by now you're talking a couple of directors, 5 writers, so you're at least talking 100 to 200 grand in just salaries and time and the labor and just all that, just hundreds of thousands of dollars just wasted, just thrown away. I don't know we're into like millions upon millions or anything like that because I don't know what type of concept art, storyboarding, costuming, any of that stuff had actually been developed or not. Because that's where a lot of this money start in the startup comes into play. So I don't know. I'm gonna say I'm down to like 50-50 on this. I think that Deadpool Wolverine matters so much to this company that if it completely fails, again, this is the thing where I think it's going to make a lot of money, especially opening. But is it really going to be $1 billion film? Is it going to be $1.5 billion? Is it going to get any sort of like energy behind things? Or is it just nostalgia stuff? Hardly a story. We got another female villain. I don't know. I don't know what to expect, right? So here's where we're at. I couldn't believe I saw the alert. And I was like, oh, another person bailed on this project. So, uh, I, in some ways, it doesn't surprise anybody. In other ways, it's just sad, and maybe it'll wake up a few more people. So that's my take on it. Thanks for watching. I'm Pops.
Thank you for tuning